you want to play safe and you want to play with the percentage, and you're gonna be trying to secure more of the late game.
Yeah. But
And then the games are gonna be very long.
And
which
more
you
team
don't
fight.
seem encouraged by. And more team fight, I like the sound of that.
We're gonna see more team fight for sure.
For sure.
For sure.
See them play something a little bit more outside of their wheelhouse. We did a stackathon with Fnatic. Check it out.
We're going to be playing another game here at ESL. This one is going to be called Stackathon, and I've got Fnatic, who's going to be joining me here. I've got both Armel and Jabs, who are going to be playing Stackathon. The rule of the game is pretty simple. You've got 3 minutes to be able to stack as much as humanly possible. The winner is obviously who gets more stack camps. Let's see who's the better support player between the two. I mean, surely you've got the advantage, right? I
Yeah.
mean, this is a core player trying to do stacks, so he usually tells other people
Is
to
he
stack.
gonna miss everything?
Oh, I
okay,
stuck
good.
everything.
Oh,
Really?
no.
Oh, wait.
Oh, you got one?
Oh, I get two.
He's gonna fail again.
I mean, that brawler is going to make him fail soon.
Whoa, please.
Nice, nice. Oh, that was smooth.
Oh.
Oh, this one blocked this thing?
Oh, no.
This one blocked the thing?
All right, who would you say is the most technically skilled player on your team? Like, when it just comes down to hitting the buttons.
Hit the bottom?
No question, it's
yeah.
me.
Probably. I know, yeah.
You think it's him? You think
Yeah.
it's him? Okay, all right.
Like,
All right, different tactic this time.
okay.
Pull it up.
Oh.
Good idea, good idea. Learn from past mistakes.
Wait, did I?
Oh.
I did this a lot.
You got that hard camper. 0-0. I mean, that was still pretty good. All right, so what do you think about the fact that he went for Nature's Prophet over your over trying to do the Shatter Demon play?
I think it's just he learned from my mistake, so he got advantage now.
Yeah.
I want him to fail. I wanna win this.
Yeah, of course, you're competitive. You gotta show him who's boss. All right, spacing
What if
out
I
all the
fail
treants.
everything?
Holy shit,
Oh my
that's
God.
a lot.
This guy is ambitious.
Can you even put that off?
I mean, if he pulls this off, this is legendary. Okay, that looks pretty clean.
Oh, I didn't work on the other combo.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh wait, I
this
got my
one.
advantage
no.
right now.
Wait, it's same. It's two. Oh.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh, the save!
I got it.
Damn, the Sprout save.
Okay, this one is a lot now. I don't think I can stack. I'm gonna go for the easier one. Oh.
Uh-oh.
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 Uh-oh. My minion.
Oh no, it's all crumbling.
Okay, never mind. I'm too
The
chasing.
pressure
Now's
is
your
real.
time. Talk some shit.
The pressure is real.
Oh.
Oh, he tried for the easy camp too.
Oh.
Bold.
Oh, this one I got it. This one no. Oh, I got this one.
Damn, you knocked it out of the water in that one. Jeez.
I mean, you got advantage. I do it first.
Yeah, it's true. He got to think about it.
Yeah.
You think if you did Nature's Prophet
Yeah.
in a rematch, you'd beat it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
ESL One Malaysia 2022 powered by Intel continues as we are getting close to the end of day number 2 of the group stage with OG versus NIGMA Galaxy, something that people are hoping to see in Div 1 DPC and we're robbed of it in Tour 3, and now we're giving it back. Although it is with some stand-ins, it is with some asterisks. We don't have Misha on OG, and we don't have Miracle on NIGMA Galaxy, and yet it seems, Adam, as welcome to the panel, that both these teams are still very much in their element.
Thank you. Yeah. I was gonna mention that I think this patch affected NIGMA like heavily because Sumil's like laning mechanics were like top tier, right?
Okay.
And they removed the camps. So
you think
you're
that's a
back to
good
a
thing
like
for him,
heavy
or-
skill matchup.
Okay.
Because before you're allowed to like pick this puck cuddle, like kind of lose your lane and farm camps, you know. But right now it's not. I think right now when you, like, at least from the games I noticed, he's like playing his co-op and then the post 4 comes and like helps you kill one time, and there's like it's very hard to recover in the game. At least from the games I watched. I also wanted to mention Dreamer Cell. His name on Steam is Indonesian Market Retail Matu.
Oh, okay.
Directly translated.
Yes, we have like our like the great value, like we have Matumba Man at home or something like
Yeah,
that. Okay.
exactly.
So
The
Dream Cell is
Indo
the
Matumba
Indo
Man.
Matumba Man. Okay, I like
Because I
it.
think the approach they're taking with his heroes too is like he's playing this Terrorblade, his Lone Druid, heroes
Uh-huh.
that NIGMA are like very familiar with, and Dreamer Cell's really good at these heroes as well.
But then why is he not the great value Miracle, Effie? Why is he going for Matumba Man then?
It's called the hero
he
pool,
plays
right?
Matu Heroes.
Yeah, he
you know?
plays
Oh,
Matu
okay,
Heroes.
I got you.
If he played Miracle Heroes, he'd be the retail Indonesian
Miracle.
market value.
Jordanian to Indonesian. But it seems to be working well. I mean, I saw them just play Terrorblade. That's a Miracle special as well.
I mean, that sounds like a Matu specialty hero too, though.
True, I
That is what they
suppose.
played in
I mean,
Arlington.
carry
to
player
be-
special.
Yeah,
to be
Carry
fair.
Player special.
But I do like what you said, Adam, because Winter and I touched up on it a little bit
Uh-huh.
too. But it definitely feels like the mid lane is so matchup dependent now. But not just that. The way that teams used to draft in the last patch, where they would first pick the mid laner
Mhm.
and kind of build around it or just protect
Yeah,
it
because
in
you
the
could
second
get away
phase.
with ignoring the mid laner, but you
Yeah.
kind of can't now.
You can't do that anymore. So your drafts do have to be more specialized to making sure that you get that good match of mid lane, but hard to do with these two counter picks
Yeah.
or second picks. The second pick right now stonks.
I think the thing that affected the patch, like before this, the post 4 used to go to the safe lane a lot because you want to protect the slower carries to help them stay in the lane. I think now you need to, it's back to helping mid. Like you pick this Timber so your post 4 can leave you and like go to middle. I think that's what we'll see more tomorrow after like people look at today's games. You know, everyone's like playing it out, trying to get a feel for a patch.
Yeah, we'll see how it all settles out, and we can also take a look at OG, who they will be going up against. Yes, they will find a lot of success with Chu. In fact, I know, Effie, you've been pretty pleased with Chu's performance, especially even in comparison to Misha or Seb.
Yeah, we didn't actually get a chance to talk about Shu yesterday, and we covered the OG games on A stream, but this guy has been playing out of control.
He is very good.
His mechanics are top tier. I honestly did not know. I didn't really pay attention to when he stood in for, I believe it was Riyadh Masters?
It was Dubai that he
Was that
played.
Dubai?
Yeah, it was the very first land.
Okay, it had just been a while since we'd seen him in action, but I assumed that with this stand-in, they would be the weakest iteration of the stand-in OG that we know, right?
Right.
The OG that rotates between Misha and Sub. But this one, I mean, with Chu, he's really doing well. But the biggest upside to him is that he's playing position 5. So not only does he have the excellent mechanics of Sub, but he's actually allowing Taiga, who is a position 4 specialist, to finally play position 4 again in these stand-in situations. Because what would happen to Taiga in the past is that Sub would come, Sub would kind of like yoink the 4, and he would just end up playing
That's
5.
true, that's true.
So he's not doing that
Or
anymore.
6.
So, yeah, so OG
Yeah.
look happy, they look good.
Alright, I got a joke, guys. Okay.
Let's hear it.
What did Amar say to Misha when Misha said, I couldn't come to Genting?
The Mars
He said,
Misha.
I
Oh,
got
hold
you.
on, hold. Oh my god! You didn't even give me a chance, Adam.
Oh,
You
come
didn't
on,
give me a
man, come on.
chance. I wouldn't have
Let's
gotten
go.
it. I wouldn't have gotten it at all. I got you. I got you.
got you.
And I got you with the Predator player v player head to head. You were talking about Taiga, and I want to see the numbers behind Taiga, especially in comparison to GH. Again, these are the numbers throughout the course of this tournament. Taiga, like you said, has been able to get more farm compared to his old Seb days, especially in comparison to GH.
Yeah, I mean, I think GPM is a strange indicator to look at when you're looking at supports, but looking at him having slightly more than GH definitely says that the farm priority is going up for Taiga, so he's happy to do so. Whereas GH, we're talking about support players getting sidelined. GH has been the 5 of NIGMA for a while now. Like, maybe not on paper, but Kuro has been playing the 4, and he's forced GH to play a less farm-intensive role. So this has been something that they've been doing for the last few months, actually.
Does it also vary on heroes, Adam? Because I know that the game that we just caught, it was Kuro on Lion, GH on Io.
Okay, so how I look at them is like it's what I did in Fnatic in 2016. Like I think the safe lane is hard now, and it's easier to like surpass the laning phase when you're in the off lane.
Okay.
And I think the heroes Kuro plays, he plays like a lot of stunners, and you can pull the wave, and it's okay, you know. I think the carries, like a lot of them this patch, they want to win their lane because it feels really bad when the offlane has 2 bracers and you don't have your power trades yet, and it really like affects you in the game. So I think they like made that swap because I think GH probably does better in the safe lane, and Kuro like he gets more in the offlane, and he also playing these heroes that can make rotation mid, make more rotations mid, and like impact the game more.
I think it's a little bit of something to do with player synergy as well when it comes down to lanes, because even before ILTW was kicked from NIGMA, he did prefer to play with GH. So I think GH just kind of meshes better than Kuro does with certain players within the team. And GH and Miracle, I know Miracle isn't here right now, but they do go way, way back, and
Yeah, it's
they're
very
always
possible.
pubbing together.
Very
So
possible.
yeah, I do think that you want to have the 2 players with the best synergy playing these side lanes together, almost always.
And we are into the draft. Game number 1, OG versus NIGMA Galaxy. Batrider, Razor banned out by NIGMA, Io and Puck taken out by OG, and they pick up a Quap and an ET, and NIGMA respond with the Dire Chen and a Faceless Void.
I think these teams that are picking this quap early now, they're like feeling this mid thing, you know, like you
Skill
can't dodge
matchup.
the lane. You
Yeah.
can't dodge the lane.
You have to play it.
Yeah. I also want to mention that Kuro's Chen, it's probably as legendary as Puppy's Chen, or like close at least. Like Puppy kept playing it all the way, and Kuro kind of stopped. But Kuro was a very hardcore Chen player back in his day.
So I just wanted to say there is no such thing as a Dire Chen now.
Really? You think 7.32 takes it out the table?
I don't think it takes it out of the table entirely, but we talked about the changes that kind of slowed this game down in this meta.
Okay.
And so you've got the glyph after every tower, not just the tier 1s. It sucks to be a Chen versus that, right? The Dire jungle has changed. The Dire Roche advantage has also been diminished a little bit. So all of these things that a Chen draft did like to play for are not there anymore. So now it's just a Chen.
But then what makes him good? Because I thought his whole claim to fame was the zoo, the high intensity push. And if he's just, what, a heal now?
I mean, he's still good, right? You can still play on the creeps, you can still buff your carry, you still provide a lot of sustain, and you still provide the ability to play tempo, right? Just because the game slowed down, it doesn't mean that tempo doesn't have value in your build up towards that late game.
It's just a different tempo.
Yeah, it's just a different kind of style,
Not
I
quite
would
my
call it.
tempo.
I'm not a fan of Chen right now, based on what I've seen so far, but I do think a lot of teams are just opting to play what they like to play in the last patch too.
I think it's still playable. I think the reason like today's Chen's game haven't been going well is because people like forget about this glyph and like what has changed. If you don't go run into the wall as this Chen, you do have high net worth and you can like keep scaling in the game with all these cheaper team items right now. Like all the team items became cheaper, 4-staff, Mag Glimmer, whatever, Greaves. And Chen does love to buy all these items, and I think it's you have the Aghanims too, you have like a good talents late game, some Hand of God, Dispel. It's kinda cool. I think it's just about teams not really understanding the pace of the patch right now, and it's very fair. Like it's the first day, you know, we are watching all of them play. They're playing and they don't get to see anything.
Those are really good points, Adam, and it makes me want to circle back to something that we were originally talking about in the pre-draft, right? Which is how the mid lane has changed and how a lot of supports have been playing around mid because of the nature of the changes. So Chen is also a hero that rotates mid very well. You grab a couple of good creeps, you smoke, and on a siege, taking that tier 1 mid tower early is still very valuable, even if it doesn't necessarily translate to a tower snowball. Just opening up that map in and of itself is a fundamental of Dota. So Chen is one of the better heroes at rotating to secure the mid lane.
And now, Adam, I know you were very hyped up on how Sumail would fare in this new mid. You see the Quap first phase. Don't you get so abused as BZM now? You're exposing your pick, you're letting Sumail have his whatever he wants, and they're not even really banning it out that much. They just took out the Invoker and the Puck.
I'm not really sure, like, what can you pick here? Kunkka, Puck, Invoker is out of the pool. There's Lina, but you really want to pick Lina? I don't know, like, you do well in the lane, sure, but like in the game, I think it's heavily dependent on your draft and like OG's draft as well. Like it's lane dominator, sure, but what about beyond that? You know, like you still gotta play the game.
I think there's some natural synergy with this Faceless Void with Alina too, so it's not the most unusual option. But I like this concept that OG have taken of, alright, which mid-hero in Dota has very few bad matchups? And it's the Queen of Pain. So they've actually still managed to secure their hero in the first phase and still allowing them more space in the draft. And basically they ban out the 2 really bad matchups for her and the support that can catch her off guard and kill her. And basically if it is Alina that NIGMA chooses to play with, they'll just play around it.
OG seem to be like going to this towards this like heavy team fight approach because NIGMA has the Chen, right? And this is like OG's way of dealing with Chen. ET, Phoenix, Wyvern, these kind of heroes.
That's right.
I'm very curious if NIGMA is gonna double down on their team fight. Like will we see like a Sumail Dawnbreaker here, for example? Like the ulti with the Chen heal, the synergy is like super huge. Because I think like they need a way to enable their Chen to have a game and their Void to have a game right now.
We might see a GH Phoenix potentially come out as well, because it seems quite value with the Faceless Void, and the added sustain with the Chen and the Phoenix could be a way to approach OG in this game.
I can see a Clockwork here too, Willow. I think there's a lot of heroes they can play. It's kind of dependent on like what kind of approach they want to the game. Because with this Chen right now, against all this team fight, like you might not want to have the let's run into them approach, you know? You want to split up the map, farm, get net worth.
But I do think Phoenix overall, like with the buffs that he got this patch, they may seem insignificant to someone who doesn't play the hero, right? Just plus 5 damage on the Fire Spirits level 1, but that makes a really big difference because this hero's biggest weakness was his level 1 and 2 laning, and it's been buffed significantly. Also, the cooldown of Fire Spirits was reduced a patch ago, and the dive also got stronger a patch ago, so this hero's been silently just moving up the list.
It's not
Yeah,
just a
for
one
sure.
team fight wonder anymore.
For
I
sure.
miss the GH Meteor Hammer Phoenix.
Oh
Those
man,
are
He,
the
those
days.
were.
he used to carry games so hard.
Do you guys remember the GH Willow?
Yeah,
That was something.
Taiga Willow, the GH Willow.
Willow in general.
Yeah.
That
I
hero has
still
been
think
forgotten.
she sucks right now.
She's not very good. I don't even know actually what changed
Oh.
with her.
Okay, so Nigma's bans the Elk and the Troll. Like I think they kind of planned for this.
Mm.
Like it's sort of good against the Quap too, the lane. Or Spirit Field.
So you're saying that the Nature's Prophet pick was already prepped by these bans?
I believe so, because
Okay.
Elk and Troll are good against this. I think they wanted like they have like an idea of what they want to do already in the game.
Mhm.
Like they want pace right now. Like look at their heroes there. If they kill one hero, they're pressuring your tower hard.
But
For-
the glyphs come back, Effie. I thought that these strategies are dead now.
I mean, it isn't necessarily the only way you can play these heroes, right? Nature's Prophet isn't just a tower push hero, he's also a scaling hero, and he's a ganking type hero.
Mhm.
If you're looking at this Earth Spirit, that's obviously one of GH's specialty heroes, this hero loves to set up for kills on the map. And the best heroes to follow up on it are usually the BOT mid laners, or any kind of hero with global presence that can capitalize on maybe the Earth Spirit catching someone off guard in a side lane. So Nature's Prophet fits the bill really nicely. It also kind of takes away the concern of a Viper that NIGMA might have had in the back of their minds, because they do have 2 melee supports, and usually you pair up the ranged hero with a melee support, and Viper was a hero that was kind of forgotten but still in the pool. But by having this Nature's Prophet, they've addressed the threat
Ooh.
of it.
Amar Huskar against Faceless Void.
Perhaps.
That's a super free lane.
Yeah.
I wonder if Nigma will wanna like switch things up here. I think the 2 things they need to do is either they try in this Huskar, but he has a Fisher block, it's not the easiest, or they put this Void in the offlane and the NP against the Huskar. I think that's a really sick pick from OG actually. I don't know what Nigma will do here.
Yeah, this is gonna give them some trouble. Also, the disarm versus the Chen army is good too. But I have a question, guys. So on the patch notes, it said that it fixed a mistake of accidentally granting
Yeah.
Huskar damage. Has that been a thing that's been
It's
happening?
been a thing. I like it was even an issue last patch because Storm Spirit. There's like remnants of ideas that they have for changelogs, and then they are like, that's actually a bad idea, but then they forget to remove all the numbers. And so Storm Spirit had like some buff going on, I think it was on Overload, and I guess Inner Fire had free damage for this entire time unintentionally.
But how did people not realize?
It was 85 damage, I think. It wasn't a dramatic amount.
Oh, come on. Remember that LC
It was
bug?
65 damage.
Remember that LC bug with like every proc would
that one
proc
was-
plus 60 damage or
That
something?
one was obnoxious.
That was game changing.
You were getting like triple damage on every last hit of Moment of Courage. It was insane. And on the topic of changes also, I would feel that Prophet may have also almost been nerfed with his shard change. It's like a brand new spell, but the old Mega Treants were like what brought Prophet back into prominence. And now he has like a damage dealing spell. I was skeptical. So it's called Curse of the Old Growth. Applies a curse on all non-invisible enemy heroes within 1200 range, and it'll reveal them, slow them, and apply a DOT, depending on how many trees they're standing next to.
I feel like it was a meme.
It seems like a meme, but the old shard was like
I
core.
tried it in the lobby.
Oh,
The old
okay.
shard was like so strong. The new shard is like it's like you sick treants on them and you press and they're just like you annoy them in the fight, you know.
Wait, oh, so
Uh,
it does work with treants. It's not just trees.
Yeah,
trees.
yeah.
Okay, so that makes
So,
it.
so if you cast it when he's beside a tree, if
Yeah.
he walks away from the tree, it stops. Like the effect is gone.
I see.
But if the treants follow him, like it continues. It
Ooh.
continues. It's stuck on him.
That's pretty cool. It is definitely sounds like a meme, but it's a cool meme.
I mean, it sounds kind of underwhelming. I understand that they thought the Nature's Prophet shard was too strong, and it really was too strong.
Yes.
Those treants were ridiculous,
Yeah.
and I mean, I know this is competitive, but even in pubs, it just made things not fun.
I know.
So
If
they
you were a
would-
carry, like you needed phase boots, otherwise like you were screwed.
yeah, so they would prioritize removing it, but it just feels very underwhelming what they replaced it with. It kind of feels like a work in progress, so they'll probably tweak it a little bit in the upcoming like B and C patches. So I don't think this is the final form of
Yeah.
the Curse of the Old or whatever
I was
it's
gonna
called.
bring this up earlier, but they picked the Nature's Prophet in response to seeing Queen of Pain, and they could have possibly put it mid. In fact, I think it is middle.
So you
Nature's
think
Prophet.
Visage offlane, but then now you're forcing your Faceless Void into an unfavorable matchup against the Huskar, aren't you?
Yeah, that's true. They might put him in the off lane too. But I think the main key for them is having this Nature's Prophet against Quap.
I also do think having this Visage last pick provides a very important aspect of vision for Enigma, where they do need to scout out the early Roshas, and even this last pick Monkey King that was picked into Visage is going to be great at setting up for kills against almost every one of Enigma's heroes, but it's also something that can be scouted out by the familiars, so there's a little bit of back and forth going on in these last two picks.
Was
And-
Pango banned? I think Pango was like a sick pick as well.
Pango's kind of...
Instead of
Against
the Monkey
Visage, Furin,
King?
yeah. But I guess Amar is like the dedicated Huskar player, right? So they wanted
Right.
a Yuragi hero. By the way, the new shard on Monkey, it's so nice.
The bouncing off
Yeah,
of
I feel like the problem with the hero before is like after he boundless, he needs to like get to the middle to walk on.
Right.
But now he has a shard that like actually does something, you know.
Okay, so then we are finally seeing the flavor that we've been seeing on the B and C streams from these two teams. How about in terms of overall draft? Are you confident, Effie, in one team or the other?
So I do like OG's take more. I feel like their draft is a little bit more well-rounded, but I also feel like that Huskar threw them for a loop and it's not quite addressed yet. NIGMA do have ways to fight back, ways to kill this Huskar and like potentially control a lot of the tempo with the Earth Spirit and MP in
I
particular.
think OG got a like sort of a counter draft against Nigma, but this is like a very bread and butter draft for Nigma.
Yep.
And I think they've shown time and time again that they're the kind of team that kind of develop their own way and like they make it work, you know. So I guess we'll see if they can make it work here.
Yeah, right now we are comparing the two frontrunners of Group B, so let's see which one will be reigning supreme here with our two casters. It's Cap and SVG.
That's right, and we have a little bit of a swerve that happened as we had our players pick up their heroes. Apparently it's going to be Mind Control playing the Faceless Void, huh?
Damn straight, son. Just when you
Okay.
thought it was a Mind Control Furion? No. When you thought it was a Mind Control Visage?
No.
No. When you thought it was a Mind Control Chen? I mean, you probably won't play it. No, it's
Right.
Mind Control Faceless Void in the offlane. Mid Furion versus the Quap for Sumail and Dreamacell. Picking up this Visage. So the Zoo is in full force here for Enigma.
Yeah, it is
That's all
something
I
that
know.
it feels like NIGMA has been taking advantage of Dreamacell. I mean, they were playing Lone Druid with him earlier on day one. Now they're playing with the Visage. It feels like they're trying to take full advantage of his strengths as a player.
It's like going back to that Matumba era, right? The Matumba of SEA. Pull him in, start making him run in, deal some tempo with the carry roll, and yeah, it's like right out of Enigma's playbook. This takes me back 4 or 5 years to the old epicenters and stuff where Enigma would be happy to just play these bristleback Chen ball lineups, run at you. Of course, they have some history trying to do that versus OG squads and not having it work out exactly. So is this the game for it? I'm not sure. I also am not sure this is the patch for it. I feel like these tempo lineups, you mess up once or twice, suddenly this OG team fight is going to become nasty between Shaker, Elder Titan. This is one of my favorite. I think of it like a janky support duo, you know, because it's a double melee support duo. Anytime you do that, there's a little jankiness to it. But this support duo is absolutely disgusting in the mid game if you get there. Like the amount of stuns that come out, the amount of AoE control. If you get caught in the Thunderdome for NIGMA here, you are going to get messed up. I guarantee it.
Using the disarm, Amar secures the 3rd bounty rune for them. So everybody going to start off with a lead here. That's right. We are going to have Amar, who's going to be playing that Huskar, but he's not going to be doing it mid. He's actually going to be doing it in the off lane and playing his normal role in that regard. Whereas previous match, we'd see him pick up Huskar, and they would just throw Amar into the mid lane and stuff like that. So it's interesting that they feel like they can do that in the side lane now.
He doesn't want to go mid versus Furion. I think that's a pretty rough matchup. We see Taiga also spearting mid, running bottom, getting some extra move speed to get down here fast. The one thing about this offlane Void is this lane cannot be too happy for him versus Monkey King safe lane. I feel like he gets run down at a certain point in this lane. I'm a bit worried for MC in this game. He has a Chen as well playing with him. I mean, your best hope is to get a Purge Creeper slaying. You can purge ET's buff. Still, playing Chen in this offlane in the early levels is going to be rough for Kuro.
Really nice body blocking here from Taiga.
Absolutely beautiful.
Put a lot of damage on Kuro while he lost
pull
his
over
courier. Gets the pull off. Really well done.
I mean, this is a disaster of early waves for NIGMA here. Yuragi gets to pull all of it behind. Taiga gets to choose whether he wants to, you know, destroy this Chen or go and destroy the MC Void. Might just kill Kuro here. Does a Fairy Fire.
Just not backing down whatsoever. Our top lane, Huskar plus Earthshaker against a Visage and an Earth Spirit lane. So this definitely feels like a lane that is going to be clashing. I feel like there's going to be a lot of kills happening here. Another great use of the disarm here, that pushback, stopping the roll-in from GH, which would have resulted in a lot of damage otherwise.
I feel like this is a lane that Amar is going to be pretty happy with as long as he gets to stay in the lane and get to the later levels. Like, I can't imagine the level, 5 to 6 area being that amazing for Visage until he gets to the birds. Right when he gets to the birds, maybe you get a kill off that. Still, I feel like when Amar plays this Huskar, as long as he can have like any moderate, decent early game, he's pretty happy.
Yeah.
Just start farming off the back of the armlet. And already, early lane's going pretty decent for OG here.
Kuro on the long sojourn to try and find a disciple. We'll finally find one. It is going to be the Purge Creep too. Just what you wanted.
It's the best he can ask for. At least he can purge Jingu. He can purge the ET Spirit buff. Try and buy Mind Control some space on this lane because he's having a rough one, man. 3 CS. I've seen Mind Control get away with some tough starts. I don't know if this is going to be the game for it. Offlane Void.
Oh, they killed the Purge Creep already.
All right, well, so much for the hero of the lane.
Well, that is really disastrous. This is just getting bad to worse.
Yeah, OG is destroying them in the early CS department here. Even this mid lane, which I mean, Sumail's got 8 denies. Like, he's doing okay, but not destroying BZM by any means. And this Dream SL Visage getting bullied top.
Oh, nice 2-man stun there. Mind Control will be able to literally walk it off, but not so much for the Chen.
The thing is, I think this is a game where...
Is he dead? Ooh, another roll in GH again. Tries to commit just to be able to save his Visage, and he will survive through this. He does also have a healing salve.
This lane is rough, though. Earth Spirit does nothing for Visage here. I mean, this Visage is going to get zoned off the waves very soon. Huskar almost up to level 4. This Berserker's Blood got buffed on the early levels, too. I mean, even if Amar somehow dies once, does he really care? He's got double Bracer up. He's free farming the lane, zoning Drimus off the CS, doubling him up here. Not much GH can do. I almost feel like GH would prefer to be roaming on the mid lane, trying to abuse this Quap, who is getting low to Sumail. Done a decent job of denying some water runes, threatening the TP.
He used his blink to be able to secure the water rune. Meanwhile, Amar is getting kited a little bit. They do have another round of nukes. It's not quite enough to get the kill, but Amar is going to be at least chased away, so... The creep wave is pushing in, though, so it's not like Amar's really going to miss a whole lot here.
Some decent nuke action.
So
Nuke action's nice, but it's not winning them the lanes right now.
Yeah. How's that mid lane matchup going? 19-8, 13-13, which I presume a lot of those are Treant denies. Amar picks up the first blood and maybe a second blood. GH did have the Fairy Fire. Chu is going to try and keep pace and get another enchant totem hit. Barely off the mark there to be able to get the Aftershock stun. Or did he not just have it?
I think it was just a little too far away, you know?
Okay.
Mind control chasing bottom with the dilation.
I mean, if he gets another bash, he might have had a kill, but...
This is a rough early game for this Enigma lineup. I don't think this is an Enigma lineup you want to get off to a slow start. You know,
yeah, I mean, you were talking about how it's a tempo-based lineup.
Yeah.
Losing your lanes, I feel like, is...
is your backup plan to go ultra late with an off-lane Faceless Void? Probably not, right? I think this Faceless Void wants to go some sort of Wraith Pack type aura build. Just if Visage doesn't go, which Visage is, so I don't even know what he's going to go in this game. MC will come up with something crazy, but like you're going to try and hit this ball aura timing, abuse the fact that OG might have a little outspam problem versus all of these Treants, the birds, the Chen creeps.
Oh, they cannot afford for Sumail to go down here, but they don't have a choice in the matter. Taiga, if he wants to, well, he'll just die to the tower.
Better to take the free trip than spend the gold, you know?
Yeah, certainly.
That's a huge kill. Again, this is a matchup I think NIGMA was, on paper, probably happy with, and instead, not going great for them. I feel like Furion is maybe the one saving grace for the slow start as well. Like, maybe he can help pick up the tempo with some early ult, TP into the side lane action. I mean, bottom's not going to have kill threat with the Void, but maybe top has something with some Visage levels. Again, DreamCell, he's just getting absolutely zoned. MC's getting zoned bottom.
Stomp does land on a 2, and the Quap was looking to make a rotation, but it seems that Taiga and BZM are on 2 different pages here. The bash, and opportune one at that.
BZM's looking to flank.
He goes for it and does throw out the Sonic Wave and gets the kill on a Kuro, but Mind Control, you know, he's able to shrug off this damage, and if he gets the right number of bashes here, even just one, it would do it, and he gets it in the end. The last swing of the maze secures the kill, and now Taiga's going to fall as well. So, yeah, it feels like Taiga kind of forced that one a little bit too much. I don't think BZM was happy to go for that.
Yeah. I mean, he felt great with the ult hit, and then he's like, I'm actually kind of stuck here, you know, and kind of a forced rotation. It felt like I don't think they needed this rotation either too much.
Again and again, this Earth Spirit is denied any roll-in from the Huskar due to the pushback.
Yeah, Mars getting out of control up here. This lane is an absolute shellacking of a lane. DreamCell has no game right now. Nowhere to go to even get this 6.
He really wants to kill on a Chu, but is it going to be H dying first? The raindrop protects him, and now Chu comes in, but GH gets the swing first. He actually does get the kill, but hey, Amar's there to collect some experience at least.
Staff bigger than the totem, I guess. He could have left him for the creeps. He was actually stuck on the corner.
Yeah, he could have.
He really wanted the glory, you know?
True. No outplay is complete without you securing the last hit, you know?
Exactly. I'm just going to show that little replay of the cage match.
They're going to be stuck. He just could have locked away, but Chu wanted to get the swing, and GH, he's got more agility, I guess.
That's one of those things you can play 10,000 games of Dota, but then you run the I'm like, am I going to get my last hit before he gets his? You're running the calculations. Yeah, I'll get it. You run up, get smacked. Oh, play another 10,000 games.
Yuragi going to be dove in deep here as they throw out the Chronosphere even to ensure the kill. The Wukong Suman is keeping him decently healthy. Suman might actually die for this one. The Earth Spirit's going to roll in, but too late. Taiga threw that stapler at the Nature's Prophet long distance and gets the kill.
He's got a huge
and should
amount
be
of
able to
damage.
get out too. In fact, he's going to turn around and just blow up Kuro with the help of BZM, who picked up a double damage rune on this rotation. And if he was able to get in front of the Earth Spirit.
Very important kills to defend these early tower pushes. Every time Furion TP's in this game, that is NIGMA's early game plan to build the momentum, get the numbers advantage, and convert it into early map pressure. So every time Sumail dies on the back end of one of these exchanges, NIGMA's going to feel the pain, especially because Amar just has a free game, right?
Yeah.
He's just sitting top. No one's even here. I mean, no one wants to go up here either. He's an absolute monster. The full armlet's already flying out. I've seen these Amar Huskar games before, man, and
yeah,
I don't think they end pretty when he's in this type of position.
It's the Amar Huskar, it's the Amar Timbersaw. It's like if you give those heroes good lanes, he just runs the game with it.
That's why he's a beautiful player to watch, because he exerts that pressure on you, right? This is why we see so many of his heroes banned, so many teams applying so much early pressure to his hero in the lane to try and shut him down. Because when he gets away with this, he feels untouchable. And he knows how to make these heroes scale. He knows how to play the fights. He's a carry player at heart.
Yeah.
He's going to carry the game. So OG definitely feeling good about this early game.
Another go onto Yuragi. Sumail showing up.
Bounce.
The Nature's Wrath does hit. That was a long one, really waiting for the damage, but it finally came in, but it wasn't enough. Yuragi, thanks to lifesteal, is going to be fine, and Sumail may be the one in trouble here if they get enough bashes. No, he's got the push back there, no problem. Mar is going to force them out. NIGMA, another rotation that fails for the Nature's Prophet of Sumail.
Very good read of this game by OG. Every time Sumail goes to his bottom lane, they are ready to bring the cores, ready to bring the numbers, shut down the one move NIGMA can make, which is bring this Fury on the bottom and try and kick the heroes out off the back of the Fury ult. No chrono up yet. OG just predicting what NIGMA wants to do. Maybe not the hardest game to do either, but definitely bringing the right heroes to the right plays. And now Arcane Rune Co-op going to town on these supports.
Yeah, they're still trying to go for a Yuragi with a TP in coming in from Sumail. BZM's actually out of mana. Uh-oh. He's in trouble. He's going to die.
Wukong.
Kuro inside the Wukong's command barely gets away in time before the statues could touch him.
Ooh, almost cut the tree.
Yeah, that was Yuragi. A little bit of sidestep there to make sure he's not cut down.
So an aggressive move from OG. BZM will pay the price. Again, probably not what he's looking for out of these early game rotations in terms of accelerating his game. But happy to stall the game up, right? I mean, if you're looking at this type of Enigma lineup where they want to run you over, even if you're trading suboptimally, you're keeping your towers alive, you're pretty happy with that. I mean, this is like a try-carry core lineup from OG, right? Classic tried and true.
Yep.
3 carries with 2 massive team fighters. If you're ahead going into the 20-minute mark, you're probably pretty happy.
You see that? Quamp TP'd in to give Yuragi the, what was it called? Seeds of Serenity?
What a nice teammate.
So that means Yuragi's still able to play the lane, though NIGMA haven't actually stuck around there at all.
Mind control.
Oh, now that would be a dream pickup for Mind Control. Soloing a level 9 Amar Huskar.
He's having an okay game, all things considering, to be honest. He is going Mask of Madness, so I guess he's just gearing up for Carry Void. The plan has been set. They're not going to run this game over, so I tend to agree with it. Void can do a lot of damage in this late game. The Dilation's very powerful. There are no saves on OG's side. It's pretty hard for them to build anything.
Nice stomp. Taiga
Beautiful.
gives himself a second lease on life. Now they could still dive him underneath the tower because they have the Chronosphere, so even a TP in may be dangerous for OG. Does manage to hit him with that ultimate. Taiga does a decent amount of juking, but he eventually dies.
Hit by Furion ult, so Sumail gets the KS there.
Whew, Yuragi. Quick moves gets him away from GH's Earth Spirit, who was cutting down trees left and right.
This is the part of the game where NIGMA can try and pick up the pace and abuse the, kind of double melee supports here for OG, the greediness on the Tricore. They finally have this Visage starting to come online a little bit. He soaks so much mid XP. It's all about where Sumail wants to go. He went this early Witchblade as well. Really wanted to pour in the early damage.
Jumping onto Sumail. Yuragi. Nice silence there to be able to stop him, and Sumail might be able to turn this around. If they could catch Yuragi, they do have, mind control, but he jumped right into the Wukong's command. He's got to get himself out of there. That is a dangerous spot to be. BZM with the double damage is going to show up, throws all his damage at GH and blows him up nice and quick. They do have the Chronosphere. Oh no, Amar walked into it. A beautiful Chrono from Mind Control that secures the Queen of Pain kill. Won't be able to do anything to Amar. Yuragi jumping in, jumping back out, trying to stay away from DreamAcell, who does have the damage, threatens Amar. He tries to hop away with a light break and might just be able to get out. The nukes are still not quite enough. Great toggling from Amar.
Wants to go.
Apparently, he tries to cut down the trees, doesn't find Yuragi. They're still going for Amar, but Mind Control, he's the one who's going to die. Instead, the Echo Slam comes through. Sumail's not going to get Jack here. Amar picks up the double.
Toggles for days, baits him in. Sumail's been trying to land these monkey tree cuts with the summons on the tree and misses it again. Yuragi just hops down and starts man fighting him. There's a reason they love this Monkey King Furion matchup. the man fights are going to be difficult for NIGMA outside of that Chronosphere. They did not have the damage for Amar in that Chrono. A decent team fight for NIGMA in terms of execution, but overextending at the end, and suddenly Amar has catapulted very far out in front. He's got a halberd done at 14.5 here, man. This is a spooky Huskar.
Yeah, considering it's a lineup that kind of similar to what we were talking about for that Fnatic one, right? It was like 3 cores, all magic damage. Here it's the opposite, where they've got 3 cores, all physical damage.
It's limited burst, though. I mean, who's killing this Huskar through halberd, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think this halberd is going to be super effective, and he's just never going to die.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably spelling like free Roshan when they won it. You're especially limited because you're pretty dependent on this Chrono to take any sort of direct team fight. Again, the power of the Shaker Elder Titan in this game. NIGMA's only way to team fight is just to collapse with the summons, group up.
TP out, Smell. It's going to be a close call, but he does live. Eating fairy fires just to make sure he stayed alive. Plus, he had the raindrop save as well.
Did the math. Furion getting forced off the map again.
Okay, so they showed a bunch of heroes in the bottom lane, so they say, screw it, let's go for Yuragi. Smail shows up. The extra damage was very much needed. Otherwise, he would have completed that TP out.
No fairy fires for you.
Yeah.
Kuro will pay the price mid, along with most of his army. Feels like every time one of these NIGMA heroes dies, it's like doubly damaging, you know? The summons get taken off the map, the lanes get shoved in.
Yeah.
Then they have to reset, come back out, get a Chen army, get some Treants going, try and shove the lanes back in. OG has all their tier 1s up at 16 minutes.
Against an
bottom
Nature's Prophet,
50
yeah.
HP, but yeah, first off, mid Furion, this is not where NIGMA had in mind in terms of their game plan being point. You're gonna have to go late game right now, you know, and this is a spooky lineup to go late game against.
Yeah, doesn't sound great.
You believe the mind control Faceless Void?
I mean, I was watching some EG versus eHome action just
getting flashbacks
just this morning, so it was a good moment of an off-lane Faceless Void turning into a true carry. Oh, the Sonic Wave actually wasn't enough. I guess he still had some armor stacks.
Had the Gravekeeper, kept him alive, sent him to the fountain, and it's a lot of space created.
Oh yeah, a huge amount of space. I mean, all they got out of it was 1 familiar kill, looks like. Okay, they collected the second one, but still. Oh, hey, inside Roshan. Hello, GH.
What are you doing, son?
Well, we probably went in there and see, all right, I'm going to check out Roshan, then came face-to-face with a Huskar.
You know, Yuragi's just... Screw Roche, man. I'm taking the kills.
Apparently. He's going to at least force some reaction, and Chen, they tried to get him the Hurricane away. Meanwhile, Amar chasing after Mind Control. Mind Control's going to have to turn around and throw out the Chronosphere, but he gets stomped. Nobody's nearby to help him out with damage. Mind Control, does he have a time walk up? He does. He's able to get away, but still, the big team fight ultimate is down, and Dreamocell, they're all going to turn back and kill this Visage now. NIGMA have nothing left in the tank. Certainly not to be able to contest Roshan, and definitely not to win this fight.
This game is turning into a rout very quickly. Sumail gets some pressure going bottom. He went Desolator, man. This is not a Furion build where you want to be losing the fights at this point in the game. Like, okay, you have some burst physical damage. Maybe if that Chrono lines up and they get that Huskar kill, they can start to turn the game around. But now you're facing down the barrel of an Amar Aegis, building his way into what looks like plate mail Ags.
I love how OG played that too. It's like, oh, everybody forced something from NIGMA, right? Like Yuragi dove in deep, Mind Control got caught by Amar walking at him, basically.
Just so many pressure points. I mean, all of these OG cores can just run in. They have the backup there. They have the stuns. There's not much damage on NIGMA's side in terms of threatening them on the burst. So they're probably going to get their spells off, and their spells are incredibly powerful right now. Sure, you have Hand of God mech, but you're healing your heroes to do what, right?
Yeah.
I mean, NIGMA's best bet is finding supports in this game. We see Mind Control looking for something on the one ward they have.
Doesn't feel great when your kill attempt is pretty much hoping and praying for bashes and might actually lose his life here. The chain stun wasn't actually there. I feel like
Chu showing mercy.
Yeah, I feel like Chu he bungled something there.
Not sure he would have died, but
Could have been closer at least.
Would have looked good.
And Mar toggling and taking a tier 2 tower before the 20-minute marker. Meanwhile, NIGMA have struggled to get a second tier 1 in this game. They did get the other tier 2 though. They got the bottom lane.
Power the Desolator. Does give you some extra wrap potential, so I guess if you're going to try and stall this game out, maybe Sumail's idea is let's just threaten some buildings on the bottom side of this map, force OG back, abuse the fact that, you know, one of Huskar's weaknesses is he's not the greatest catching people on the map. He ideally wants to just force the objectives, get the big brawls.
Uh-oh, he just time walked straight into Chew.
Yeah, that's not where you want to be, son.
Yeah, he is very dead. He did buy out the shard, so that'll help him a lot against these commitment heroes and Huskar as well as Monkey King, so he can kind of jump in if they respond by trying to fight him. You can just jump right back out.
Yeah, this is a cool... Oh, you're talking about...
Faceless Void Shard.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was thinking Monkey King Shard because we've been seeing it earlier today. Jumping in and out, you know. There's so many heroes that can do it now. He's thinking about it.
Oh, and look at all these stacks. Look at all these creeps. Look at this Chen army, these heroes. It's OG cleaning up everything here.
Turning into a very one-sided game very quickly.
Oh, yeah, it is. BZM diving into tier 3. Mind Control's like, okay, this is the moment.
Get some bashes, son. You're going to need them.
Oh, no. The Fisher's going to stop him. He's going to die. BZM blinks away. The urn is taking him down, though. Surely it's going to get the kill, but BZM's like, you know what? You're going to go down with me, GH, or not. He doesn't even tick out. Lives through it all. This is unbelievable. OG. They are completely outplaying NIGMA. I don't know how this game could possibly turn to the favor of Dire at this point.
I don't know how this game almost could have gone any worse for NIGMA from the start to here. Absolute disaster at every turn. Haven't been able to even take one successful team fight or get anything going with the hero synergy. Just OG showing up on the lanes, absolute dominance, and a beautiful transference into the mid game in terms of doing what they're great at, right? Taking the strength of their cores, jamming into your face, and saying, what's up?
He went down to 19 health. 2 health? 2 health!
I mean, he was probably happy to die. He's like, I'll take the free trip to base. Save the
I saw
roll.
2 there. All right, there is a small little time where there's 2. I mean, that still would have been, all right, Mind Control, just, you know, take what you could get. Take it and run. Get a bounty rune, run away, because you're not getting much else out of OG. They are going to hunt down hero after hero. They've still got 45 seconds left on the Aegis. You can see the shard pick up for the Huskar.
GH is building a decent wave for him bottom. All right, he's going to ult it. Farming Earth Spirit ult. Making some space.
Yeah. Silence and TP out.
Got to make the best of a bad situation, you know?
Yeah, this situation is pretty bad.
There's not a lot of comeback potential this game, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, like what does Visage look like late game against these heroes?
Not amazing. It's not even that great of a late game Visage game. Again, this NIGMA lineup was just designed to snowball out of the early game off the back of the Furion teleports, use the time dilation utility from Faceless Void.
Silence, pull him up. Oh, the Yule Scepter for the extra bit of control to get there in time for the Echo Slam. Really nicely played. GH is going to whiff on that roll in, but it doesn't matter. Chu does die. Still, OG will take that trade-off every single time.
Shaker was worth almost 700 gold.
Yeah, that is true.
A number you'd like to see and hate to see, depending on how you interpret it. But that is BKB for Sumail. Oh my god, he's so level starved though, man. Barely gets to 15 here.
Is that ever a conversation when you're playing pro? When you're behind and you get some kill and you see it's worth like 1,000 gold, you're like, uh-oh, guys.
You know.
We're really far behind.
Like, damn, I got a 4-staff off that? We must really be screwed. That's what I'm saying. They're double-edged swords, you know?
Yeah,
you kind of want to kill the guy and see like 200 gold. You're like, oh,
all right, we're in
this.
We're in
game
this.
isn't
It's even game.
Yeah,
Even game.
We're not even behind, boys. You kill him, your net worth doubles. All right, we're in some trouble. Shoot, looking for the TV.
Oh, no! Barely missed the timing there. DreamSL barely gets out of the way in time. Still, though, It is NIGMA just being chased off of the map time and time again.
World's their oyster, man. OG can go wherever they want right now. I don't think there's much threat from NIGMA.
Look at Amar knows the Earth Spirit was there because he showed on the outpost at some point. He rolled in silence, and he's just been baiting him and waiting for him to show somewhere. Now the rest of the heroes are going to be here, and they're going to be able to catch him inside of the Chronosphere. He's dead. He finally goes down.
Get away, run away, boys.
Godlike spree. They got 1,500 gold for DreamAcell on that one.
Yeah.
that's that moment you're talking about.
Momentum. Gain it back. Use their lead against them.
Time walk in, time walk back out. Mind control. Making good use of the shard to poke at OG. Now he actually commits. He didn't blink backwards. He didn't blink backwards. Oh, but he barely got the time walk out again.
Trying to find the support.
Scepter starting to roll out. They're going to go for Taiga. Taiga's going to die. At the same time, the Earth Spirit's going to be given up, but they're caught inside the Sprout. Uragi, it's a little bit close there. Echo Slam from 2. A monster hit with a Sonic Wave, and OG turning right back around in the face of NIGMA. You are not turning this game around, they say, easily wiping the team fight.
Shu came to play today, man. Showed mercy earlier. Showed absolutely none right there. Takes them all to the grave with him. That looked like NIGMA was maybe finding some traction there.
Yeah, it was.
All right, they're getting a little sprouts, getting a little dilations off, looking fancy, and Shu says, no more fun and games. Team fight's over, boys.
Yeah, look at this. I mean, Mind Control barely gets out several times.
Yeah, this is looking decent. I mean, they get Taiga on the back end, Sprout on Uragi, gets him stuck. You're like, all right, Sumail's doing some damage.
And he's almost dead, and look at this 3-stack with the familiars there as well. Boom!
My God, is there a more satisfying feeling in Dota?
There absolutely is not.
Than a beautiful Echo Slam. That'll get your adrenaline pumping.
It really will. And Uragi even dodging one of those hits with the trickster play. All right, well, NIGMA were gaining a little bit of ground, and then it all slipped through their fingers, and OG once again in control of the map. 13,000 net worth lead, just choking them out as best they can. Soon they're going to have a Shivas on the Quap, so good luck playing these side lane tree games like Sumail is currently doing. BKB goes off. Really nice reaction from him, though. Mind Control, maybe not the best reaction to take a fight that Sumail is leaving. Fortunately, the time walk gets him out.
At least you got Dagger of Ristal here, you know?
Yeah.
You get some damage with the Mask of Madness going. Like we saw in that fight, if you chrono the Huskar, isn't too much counterplay. You'll throw a Stomp out, you'll throw a Fissure, but it's going to let the damage come in from the Furion. That's the goal. You will kill him. The issue is going to be this next Roshan. We talked about it. You cannot really turtle in a meta where Roshan gives so much. NIGMA need to find some ground here, otherwise OG is happy to take this grouped up fight.
Getting a pick off on a support would be a nice start, and GH managed to catch the Earthshaker and kicks them together. Really nice. Double kill for Mind Control right next to the Roshan pit, and Roshan's going to spawn in 10 seconds. Somebody leave something in the pit, please.
Nothing checking. They want more. Can't blame them.
Oh, almost cut down the right trees, but Uragi does manage to get away, and the side lanes are pushing in.
I mean, they can Rosh if they check it.
If they check it, Mind Control.
I think you have to here.
His faceless tingling, you know? He could feel it. Roshan's here. An opportunity for NIGMA to turn this game around, perhaps.
Both supports get caught in the river. Beautiful go from GH, setting them up like pinballs. And a huge turnaround. We talk about the Aegis for Amar is so important in terms of him pushing high ground, forcing the issue. OG can fight this.
They're coming, Uragi.
He's
going to have to get the right kind of stun. He's not going to be able to get it in time. They pick up the Aegis and the Shard. Now they got the Chronosphere onto Uragi. I mean, he just walked into that one. He didn't try and hop through the trees or anything. Sonic Wave from the side, though. A big hit, especially with the Earth Splitter. Inside, they've already used the BKB. Stuns after stuns raining in, and they are just going to catch all of the NIGMA heroes. 1, 2, 3. Give them Roshan. It doesn't matter. You still do not beat our team fight.
Elder Titan Shaker just mopping up the team fight, even with Uragi sacrificing his soul for the gods. Is Chu the real carry of OG all along?
Yeah, it might be in this game anyway.
God, this team makes Shaker look so good, man.
They really do.
No matter who's playing it, apparently.
Yeah, just wait till Misha plays it.
Wait till
someday.
Wait till we see Uragi Shaker. That's the real hidden gem, I'm sure.
Oh my God.
I mean, it works so well for him. The amount of control that comes out for 3 cores that all are insane damage. this is the OG puzzle that's hard for a lot of teams to crack. Okay, you take down their carry, Uragi. Guess what? They have 2 more.
Yeah.
That's the problem. There's just so many damage sources.
And they're so good at playing team fights, right?
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful.
All right. This high ground push is likely to come to an end here soon. Samar.
That's the upside, right? They took the Aegis away from him.
Yeah, exactly, right? If that was an Aegis on Huskar, they'd be probably
He'd
forcing.
be in the fountain by now.
I mean,
dropping
Amar
mantles.
might just want to keep going, apparently.
Why not? No chrono. Is he afraid of anything if there's no chrono? I don't think so.
Maybe not. BCM, they're going to pounce. What a Fisher. Follow-up chain stun. Kuro, he's going to be the first one to go down here. Uragi jumping over the side, spots the Earth Spirit on the low ground. They catch him. Nicely played out. Amar going in, gets the taunt onto. Okay.
The physical.
He dies immediately, underestimating the physical damage from Sumail with that Desolator. And it looks like Taiga has been caught away from the rest of his team. But a really good stomp. That allows Uragi, BZM, look at him, the whole team just instantly on top of Sumail. GH is next up. Uragi popping the BKB to ensure nothing is going to stop him from hunting down these heroes. Mind Control is still trying to get Taiga. And he just can't quite get him. Now he's going to go for the stomp. Ah,
The
gotcha.
leap back.
Time walk right back. Time dilation might be able to get it, but Mind Control is going to die. Even the Chen showing up,
Throw
but
that
none
pen
of it is
pins.
enough.
DreamSL still been stuck up here trying to fight with the Shaker the whole time. What was that, GH buyback only?
Yeah.
Honestly, not the worst for NIGMA considering the circumstances of the game. At least they're prolonging the issue and getting their Furion back up. That physical burst probably did catch Amar off guard a little bit. Maybe hoping for some extra evasion. He ended up pretty deep. Chrono or not, this Furion still hits very hard. There is no BKB control for him, so gotta watch out. I mean, this is a glass cannon Furion build if I've ever seen it, man. Witchblade, Deso, Crystal, Shadowblade. Jeez.
Seriously.
You need damage? He built it. And Sumail knows. They can't kill these OG cores. They're not going to win the fight in the long term, so who else is dealing damage in this game, right?
Yeah, no, it is true. And it's probably the best way to threaten this Huskar, who, with the Aghanim Scepter, is usually down to just brawl with anybody off of the taunt.
He got a full Silver Edge. I mean, this
Okay.
Furion's pretty farmed. If they can keep him alive in the fight, might be able to clean up enough heroes.
I always love to see a good Chen damage, hero damage numbers.
Yeah? What was he up to?
2.7k.
I have to squint to see that one. You know, the bar's
Yeah, like the
almost
bar
covered.
almost didn't go far enough down to be able to cover up the text.
Yeah. All I know is that the Chen damage done was almost on par with the Furion healing done. So that probably tells you all you need to know about it. That impact. I mean, he does have a Penitence damage talent. Didn't opt to take it here. I mean, probably wisely. You know, I don't know if that's impacting the fight, but
Yeah.
it is an interesting talent.
Yeah, I mean, if he had, maybe he would have killed Taiga earlier.
Never know. He probably would have, actually.
Yeah, he was low. He just needed one nuke, which Chen does not have.
Sumail farming up enemy triangle. At least getting some decent net worth off the map. Maybe trying to force someone back.
I mean,
Enigma-
this Furion is so much different than the previous one. I feel like if we were talking about last patch right now, like, there would be a much better win condition for this Furion because of the shard, right? Like, what the Treants could do in split-pushing plays like this is so much greater, you know?
Yeah, I mean, what did Effie call it? Curse of the Old?
Yeah, whatever.
That was a little personal, but, you
Yeah.
know, it's probably not as impactful as the greater Treants forcing someone to be on Treant duty, you know?
Yeah.
So
Seriously.
I agree. In this type of game, he's definitely feeling it, and he's about to be feeling a lot more here. Uragi just pounces and gives him absolutely nothing. Power Ranger TPs for Nigma to the other side of the base. Doesn't feel great.
No, it doesn't. I mean, these chain stuns, Boundless Strike, Fisher, Enchant Totem, Fisher stun. They could do an Echo Slam Fisher stun. They could do a Stomp to follow it up. I mean, they've got so much long-range chain stun
That's that
that
ET
it's
shaker,
super
man.
hard to be able to play this as a Faceless Void or a BKB hero. And you could see they're just falling one by one, even inside their own base. Chu continues to threaten them.
The Shaker has a goddamn Octarine, son.
What?
Yeah, he is farmed.
What?
That probably feels good, you know. You got an octane
Oh,
on
yeah.
Shaker, you're just stunning people for days.
Look at it, Fisher into the chain
Buyback,
stun. He gets
dieback.
the ton follow up. That is it.
Very clinical game here from OG.
OG. Clinic hours are open and probably soon to be ending as NIGMA. All right.
Sends a
Apparently,
little
Amar
message.
is not the only fountain farmer in this game
Oh, the
or
little
in this
Go
team.
Scepter purchase too, you know. They've done it before. Expert found divers. NIGMA not calling GG. Not giving the satisfaction to him, you know.
No.
Fight it to the end.
Even the pop of the glyph. You don't get to end the game as quickly as you want to.
Yeah, that's a screw you, Glyph, you know.
Yeah, it really
You can
is.
found dive me, but I'm going to make you sit here for
Hey,
another
he's got
10
the Sprout.
seconds.
Actually, he does have ways to stall out the game if he could keep sprouting over and over again.
They do have ET Spirit.
I mean, they've got Chronosphere when they're up. 15
right,
seconds
Sumail.
for the Faceless Void.
How much
Maybe if
damage you
Sumail can
got?
fight this by himself, Amar's going to go for it. He tries to man-fight Sumail. He's got the disarm, and he does manage to win it out. Amar lives through it all. Now Dreamocell coming in, trying to finish him off. The Faceless Void, another 5 seconds, but everybody else is going to be dead by the time he's up. Oh, no. Mind Control comes back to a wasteland. He's not even going to be able to get off the Chronosphere. He's just not.
A little extra stat padding at least, you know. It'll bump up some of the KDA numbers. I'm sure OG happy to do it, you know. Deliver it to their old friends on the NIGMA side. Exact some revenge.
Yeah, that is got to be
That's a
a
beatdown.
very feel-good game one for OG. As it seems like this team, it doesn't matter, stand in or no, you know, pick Seth, pick up, you know, Chu, have Nisha, it doesn't matter. Like, it just seems like this squad is just so solid every single time. Maybe they're not always winning the tournament like Arlington, but they are always a force to be reckoned with and a force that could go all the way, as this was just game one of OG versus NIGMA. We'll be back after the break.
She be in the right place, always at the right time. Looking like a dream worth chasing. My place, it be in the nighttime. Trying to come through and I say, okay, okay, okay. What else I'ma say? Sucking for a pretty face, okay, okay. And she always get away when I say, never help myself, pretty baby. She like 2020, always driving me crazy. She like spending money just as soon as I make it. Even with the drama, little mama, my favorite. She come with finesse and stutter steps, everything fresh to the death. She ain't got a flex, she just say less. Come correct her, don't come at all. That girl done it all, run it all, window to the wall. Every time she call, it's a mission. It gon' be a trip, pay attention. I ain't even mad, she different. Just like sunlight in the distance, a little out of reach, ready made for the way. Cause the life is a beach, at least it's a mutual arrangement. If I'm being honest with myself, I wouldn't change it. Every time I'm with her, it's a mini vacation. Lose track of time like daylight savings. She be in the right place, always at the right time. Looking like a dream worth chasing. My place, it be in the nighttime. Trying to come through and I say, okay, okay, okay. What else I'ma say? Sucking for a pretty face, okay, okay. And she always get away when I say, I say what you have, she say what you got. I say what you need, she say what you want. I say what you on, she just say a lie. She could have the whole world on a string in a pocket. Stage dive with it in a mosh pit. Everybody watching, she don't care what gossip. She stirred the pot cause she just a little toxic. She know she the plug and the charge and the socket. I would say it's love, but it's more catastrophic. Defies logic, a little obnoxious, but I'm so far gone like a Drake tape. Never had a chance in the first place. Maybe that's a mistake. I just had to know how her lips taste. Body talk letting her fixate this way. She know she my favorite escape. That's why she hit my line when it hit me in the right place, always at the right time. Looking like a dream worth chasing. My place and me in the nighttime. Trying to come through and I say, okay, okay, okay. What else I'ma say? Sucker for a pretty face. Okay, okay. And she always get away when I say it.
NIGMA Galaxy going head-to-head against OG. And OG do it in classic OG style. They fourth pick the Huskar. And NIGMA Galaxy, they start panicking. They pivot. Maybe Sumail on the Nature's Prophet. Maybe Mind Control Faceless Void. Maybe that could be the solution. And for a second, for a few team fights, it looked like that could be the solution. But then Chu comes in, just dunks on them all. And Adam, it seems like NIGMA Galaxy just didn't have the pieces necessary to get the win in this game.
I feel like they did what they could with their draft, and there were like glimpses of hope, right? Towards the mid game, they were like having like really close fights and stuff, and then suddenly there's this like ET Stomp and Echo Slam, and it just comes in, and the fight's kind of over after the spells are used.
Yeah, it seemed that normally it's the last pick of the draft, these cheese picks, so to speak, that would throw them for a loop, but OG felt confident that there was really no final pick that NIGMA Galaxy could bring their way that would make the Huskar be a bad hero, and NIGMA Galaxy said doing the best with what they had.
After the draft, sure, but I do think that Visage probably could have been something else. It felt like they kind of doubled down on the idea that they wanted to play the game versus OG, where they just group up with these heroes and are constantly running at you, constantly making sure that you just have no space, but I don't even think they got the lanes that they wanted. It really didn't feel like...
I felt like they had no solution to the Huskar lane. Like the Visage didn't lane the Huskar very well either. Like they dodged from the Void to put him bottom. He's like, okay. I think the lane only went a bit better because Chen got a purge creep and then it died like within one purge. And then Sumail came down and he kind of saved the lane for one move. And then after that, like they had a Huskar problem, so they killed Uragi. Uragi was kind of poor that game, but it didn't matter. Like Amar was so farmed and their heroes could not address the Huskar. And I think the lanes is what the problem that they needed to solve. They kind of like skipped it, and you know things didn't really go too well for them.
Yeah, and even when they did the swap, it wasn't good. They didn't get the lanes they wanted, and they really couldn't have. And I don't know if that Furion was initially picked to be played mid, or I think they wanted to potentially flex it more, but it didn't work out for them. So there were definitely some drafting issues that game that made it so that they didn't really look like they had a clear chance in the game, and I think OG played their draft really well. The Earthshaker played a great game, some really awesome Fissures and Echo Slams, and after Huskar got that first Aegis, even when NIGMA were trying to make a play with the Furion in the bot lane, you just had this constant pressure from the Huskar farming the mid, hitting the tower even all the way by itself. The hero was constantly